Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness. The scene is set, and it's a very interesting occasion simply because the first time I've been able to set it in such a place is actually within the Sept of the Green, within Central Park, very, very proper. The scene is set on a very, very sunny Friday afternoon, turning on to almost evening. In a secluded part of the park, a bunch of people, a bunch of very, very familiar people, family people, kinfolk, if you want to go ahead and be very, very precise, have gathered together. They have grabbed one of the barbecuing and grilling out places, and there seems to be just a spreading activity from one particular spot. There seems to be a man there, a very, very unshaven man with long, scraggly hair, actually dressed more of a hipster style if you're familiar with that particular attire. He seems to be flipping burgers and turning over hot dogs just as fast as you may. And around him is a plethora of different activity. From the grill go the burgers, they get fried up, they get fizzled, they get well done. The hot dogs as well. They're transported over to the preparation table wherein they are dumped all manner of ketchup, mustard, relish, jalapeno, just round up jalapeno, something to give it a little bit more of an extra Tex-Mex kick. And all that in a bun that sort of gets fettered around. At the other table, there happens to be a little bit of extra, some coleslaw, some egg salad, some potato salad. Despite what you may suspect, but those are two different things, the egg and the potato salad. And they start to venture out. There is a congregation, about 20 or so odd people, that have gathered this very, very day in this very, very sunny part of the park. They have found to themselves a bunch of picnic tables, and all around there is a low, low chorus, a low, low roar of just conversation, just goodwill, just goddamn fellowship. Something that for most of the people here, they haven't had for a very, very long time. So they are indulging in such conversation. They are mostly into themselves. However, the grillsman up front, right in front of the barbecue, is most dedicated to his task of making sure that this congregation of people are well kept and well fed, with very, very well prepared burgers and hot dogs. And we begin the scene as such for anybody to come in and whatnot.
So, having finished his questing abroad and relaxing and resting for now, Kachina notices the commotion and festivities and comes over to check it out. He is looking around and he smells the fine cooked meals in the air and sees the assorted goods and walks over and greets people and says hi. And the purveyor of such apparently is doing the cooking, so he goes over and to greet him.
You're warmly greeted with a, hey, hello, how you doing?
This is going okay. I've been very busy of late. Been a little bit down, trying to regroup myself, as it were.
Sorry to hear that. Well, what's your fancy? Burger or hot dog?
I'll have a hot dog for now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Um, the man before you by the name of Alan will go ahead and take one of the much more well-made hot dogs. A little bit burned. You can notice that it's red, and there are slight burn marks upon it where the grill would have touched it, but it's just good. It doesn't blemish the hot dog. It's actually very, very perfect. Just the right shade of red, not pink, not undercooked, Not overcooked, not completely burnt, just burnt right where it should be, right on the grill marks. He takes a pair of tongs, goes ahead and picks it up, puts it into a bun of sorts, and hands it over to you. And the thing you'll notice is the smell. The smell is perfect. It's not overwhelming, it's not too subtle, but you definitely notice it. It smells like a grade 8 American meal.
Hmm.
What's your name, son?
Kachina Awantu, recently named Rides on Mountains.
Alan
Wakes the
Stewart.
mountains.
Sorry? Wakes the Mountains, sorry. Yes, I just got it.
Alan Stewart. They haven't given me a name quite yet. Feel free to talk rather openly. There's nothing but kin here.
It is good to hear.
You're the first person I've talked to today. How are things with you then?
Can't complain. Much sadness from the sept of running stones.
Oh yeah? Tell me about that.
Yes.
Imagine I don't know anything.
Um, they attacked a worm hive, and in doing so, they freed the shield that was protecting it, but also brought down the wrath of the worm. And the worm rallied its troops and brought many banes and spirits against them and decimated their whole town and captured all their elders and were using them in a perverse rite. We went and stopped them and drove them away and killed most of them.
You get a very, very wide-eyed stare from Alan as he actually unconsciously burns one of the burgers before flipping it back over and flipping it over to the uncooking side of the grill as he goes ahead and says, "Oh, really? Just all that? I'm sorry to hear that."
Yes, it was a great loss.
I actually can imagine. To do if you're free, I'd like to hear more about this. Hold on 1 second. He goes ahead and calls off to a man he calls Charlie. Hey, Charlie, take care of the grill. I got a new friend to talk to. Ellen will go ahead and take a bit of. Actually, go ahead and take one of the pre-prepared burgers and start walking over to the concession bench, sort of gesturing you over. He takes
He's still got like his bear hot dog, and he goes over.
Alex is gonna go ahead and take a bottle of ketchup. Just go ahead and reach over to your hot dog and say, "You want some?"
Yes.
So
He looks down, noticing that he doesn't have any toppings.
Squeeze the ketchup on yours as he goes ahead and squeezes more ketchup onto his. No, continue talking. I'll handle the condiments. He goes ahead and tries to get some dill relish and go ahead and settle it on your hot dog as he settles it on his burger.
I will tell you the tale, although I am no galliard. I will try to do it justice.
Oh, well, go ahead and try. I'll see if my moon actually would accompany such a story in my circles. I happen to be a Galliard.
At that time, you guys see that some of the kinfolk kids, like maybe some of them child Vagaya, one of our kids hear they smell the thing and they try to join you, and you actually see that some of them is running towards a man. Katrina knows the man. The Alan saw this man before. You see that the man kind of pets the kids on on their heads, like saying like we're going to play games later, not now, not now. And then he sees this hackmate Kachina and comes towards him. Your name was Alan, as far as I remember, right?
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry, I didn't think to ask your name. He extends a hand out.
He takes the end. Travis Moran bears witness, and he looks
Bears
at his
witness. Interesting.
yeah. He looks at his packmate. Yo, man, how's it going?
Still very sad, but trying to look on the bright side.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
With a name like that, Bears Witness, I think you would have a few different stories to actually tell. Go ahead and grab yourself a burger or hot dog. I'm settling this guy with condiments.
Okay, you see when get a hot dog for himself. He gets double. He likes hot dogs, and he comes back, sits, and listens Kachina.
Hold on a second. Alan's gonna go ahead and reach towards a blue cooler. Actually, take the entire goddamn cooler. It's only a handy kit. Walks over to one of the picnic tables that hasn't been taken up. Goes ahead and settles it. Takes out a few unmarked, unbranded beer bottles. Or at least they would have labels if Alan Stewart hadn't ripped them off for his own sake. Sets one for you, sets another one for you, sets one for himself, and leaves the rest in the cooler as he just sort of sits down on this very, very rickety picnic park bench.
See, when you get him a beer, like Travis will look at Kachina and says like, "Oh, I like this guy."
Dark spirits to match my own mood. As he pops the lid off, takes a sip.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry that you two seem to be in such dark spirits.
All it is due to the path that we trod a while ago in the Running Stones. It started out with another pack who went there to seek aid from the members of the Running Stones, a Wendigo tribe, and to seek knowledge about the Skyworm. They found out that there was a worm nest nearby and that there was also shovel tusks and bat creatures. I do not remember their name exactly. And they found out that their hive was warded. They investigated, and to the best of my knowledge, they destroyed a altar in the shape of the sky worm, which rendered the shield useless, and then proceeded to attack the hive and, as far as I understood it, bested it. I do not know the exact details. I was not there for it. But then we went back to see what we could do to help finish up the cleanup on the Running Stones. When we traveled through the Moon Bridge, when we came to the town, it was afire and there was dead all around us of their sept mates, the whole village, every man, woman, and child. Many cuts and wounds were on their bodies, and most of them looked like they were going about their daily routine when this happened. It must have been a very overwhelming force, a very fast strike on them, and retaliation by the worm. We saw a green light erupt into the sky, and when we saw this, it had entrapped the spirit of Wendigo itself in its clutches. This was very concerning. We started to go towards it, and then the bodies of the dead started rising up. That was very disturbing, knowing that the dead were being inhabited by the worm in such a way as they are wont to do. Knowing that we would be stopped by overwhelming numbers, we decided to advance at a quickened pace through them. And on a mountain pass towards the green light that we were going to, we were stopped by a pack of possessed werewolves. Obviously mighty warriors at one time of the Guru. There was 6 of them. Our packmates did battle with them and were victorious eventually. Fortunately, they did not die easy. They had to be burned with purifying fire before they would finally lay down or be torn apart to such a state that they literally could not once again stand. Then, foolishly, I scouted ahead by myself to make sure that we didn't arrive at any others, and unfortunately was discovered upon by a nexus crawler, a corrupt nexus crawler. My packmates came, and we decided to use our wisdom instead of our muscles and retreat it away from it and get another path towards the light. We came up upon a mountain to do so, to descend from above. And what we saw was basically an army splayed out before us. And where the green light was emanating was a circle with the elders of the Wendigo in some perverse and dark rite. They were being tortured. Gnosis hang on them, heavy and dark. And it was using that gnosis to tie Wendigo itself to that place. Octana, sorry. Damn it. Seeing this, we knew that we had to stop this sooner the better. We didn't know how long they had been done this or how long they still had to go. I heard the voices of the rocks and the dirt cry out as I was telling our plan to go forth and do battle with this army, even if it cost us our lives. The rocks heard my plea, and with my knowledge of spirits, I was able to awaken the mountains, who had heard my plans and wished to aid me, knowing what it would cost and what we were willing to sacrifice. So together with my packmates and our totem reindeer, who I called to assist us, we were able to wake the 3 mountains around the summoning circle and use them as massive warriors for Gaia. And we crushed the army, and we crushed the dead that were in the town, and we crushed the Nexus crawler into a fine powdery mist. And then, unfortunately, the ritual doers got away with a rite of speed that they knew before we could follow them, but then we had to go down, and at this point he's kind of is like looking anywhere but at you and at the ground and stuff, and feeling really uncomfortable. I gotta make a roll.
You'll notice that Alan has been half listening to you and half writing some of these details down, actually.
Alright, so I'm okay for that. He clears his throat again. The next part is rather hard. Seeing the elders in their state after being subjected to torture for so long. We had to lay them to rest. And I did it myself.
You see Travis now. They're like, he doesn't talk, but he is crying. Like, he's crying when he hears the story again.
Wow. It's rather powerful story you have there. Do you mind if I take it for myself?
You may do what you wish with it. It is the truth of what happened, and
It may be the truth of what happened, but in order to credit the brave warriors that were there that performed such actions, I need more details. Tell me about these different packs that were involved. Tell me about the Gairu that fought, and tell me about the elders that unfortunately succumbed.
all right. It was the first pack was Louis' pack.
Worm
Travis Worm Raiders. They first went to seek the help of the Actena tribe and destroyed the barrier around the worm hive and dealt a blow to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second pack was the Striders of Ice and Concrete. In that consisting of myself, Travis, Honors the Lost, and Blitzkrieg, and we even brought with us Bettina.
Kinfolk.
The Kinfolk,
Why?
yes.
A kinfolk, you say?
Yes.
That's why you classed her out of all the others. Okay, continue.
Yes. In the village, we disassembled some of the dead walking people. Travis and Bettina and Blitzkrieg, and Aaron was trying to see the spirits in the Shadowlands while we held them off to try to see if there was any way we could contact their spirits to put them at rest, but their agony was so great that it was as if the whole village was shouting at him at once.
Pack Link, you don't know this man. Don't tell every detail.
Okay. Pack Link, yeah, I'll leave up some of it. Then we made our way, and each of the past Actena warriors, who were beyond recognition to me, I would know their names because they probably fought valiantly before they passed. Each one of us basically took on one of them, and using purifying fire that Blitzkrieg had in his fetish and was gifted upon himself, we used to basically burn them down. The Nexus Crawler, when we found it, me and Honors kind of identified it, and then we decided that we should leave because that's not something you take on with just one pack. It's a 2-3 pack job.
Idiot. This gets from Pack Link like, shut the fuck up.
Pack Link, hey, it's not a dishonorable act to admit when you are outclassed and outgunned and no one to run away, so you can fight again.
You're lowering our class. Just wait. Don't tell him everything.
When we got to the mountains, as I said, I told everyone to gather round, and I summoned reindeer, and we together woke the three mountains and asked their help, and they crushed the army and the undead in the town and the Nexus Crawler. Then I went into the circle and did what I had to. The names of the elders are fill in the blank here.
I certainly hope you wrote those fuckers' names down.
Yeah, we even did Right for the Departed for them, each calling out each individual's name and whatnot. And then we came back here to let the 5 remaining people of that sept know what happened and help through their time of grief.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you were able to rescue a few of Gaia's brave warriors before they would come to such a fate. Or is that not the story?
The 5 guru that survived were the ones that came here to help us before this happened. The ones that came to help us with the Skyworm. They're the only ones left of their sap, Karen.
Ah. I bet that hurts.
Yeah.
It does.
I bet that really, really bites for them. Think about this. Those 5 brave Gaian warriors came to your sept. This sept is a wonderful sept. It may be in a city full of different types of taints and corruptions, but what you've got here is a wonderful little homestead. The fact that they left their own sept, not being able to put their arms against the oncoming onslaught of the worm, I think that hurts.
Yes, I told them the news and stayed with them for a while, but at the same time, as it pains me to admit, 5 more warriors would not have turned the tide of battle.
That may have been true, but those warriors you do have, how much use do you think you're going to get out of them?
Their older brother. They will do what is required. We are strong people, but yes, many tears have been shed and sadness.
Let me tell you this. I'm going to go talk to those warriors, but I think I know their sentiment, their statements. You have 5 people who have probably been within the same area for a very, very long time, defending it for Gaia against the onslaught of the worm. And to have all of that work and that effort come to nothing, it brings a sort of bitterness. Well, let's just say that if it was me, I would have rather stayed home and died fighting.
It is.
This battle will not be won by just staying at home and dying. I believe we should be actually happy that we have been able to save 5 of them. Because again, if we are fighting a war, we are destined to lose, right?
Well, that's just the thing with the visions I've been getting lately. It is not a fight we are losing. It is a fight we are winning.
I
Slowly
hope so.
clawing our way. It is not an easy fight, and if we slack, the worm will take advantage, but from what I've been bestowed upon with my visions, we are most definitely winning.
You see, he smiles to you.
Oh, well then. It is a very interesting story that you bring with me. Notice that Alan has not touched his burger at all during this entire telling of this grand story, but he'll go ahead and take a bite.
So where did you come from, Alan?
Hi, we seem to have some connection issues. Do we have yourself now?
Dude, there's two of you.
Yeah, he just dropped out and then popped back in.
Oh, okay. So, Alan, where did you come from?
I actually come from the south, actually. I'm a Texan by birth.
Your child.
I'm a child of Gaia. It's nice to know that my reputation precedes me a little bit.
Yeah, you were trying to be useful. What's your auspice?
I'm one of those quarter. No. I'm a 3/4 full moon. I'm a Galliard.
Oh.
And what's so disappointing about that, my good Travis?
There's nothing disappointing about Galliard. My mentor was a Galliard. He is still a Galliard, of course.
Of course. Tell me about your mentor, then.
You know my mentor. It's the Honors the Lost.
Oh, I met him very, very briefly when it came to that vehicular manslaughter case.
Yes. One of our brothers died as well. Kachina, you know him. Keegan.
Hmm. Kachina wants to look into that. Kachina has an idea.
Really, Kachina? Tell me about this idea, then.
If Kachina can get Bullet, Kachina can ask Bullet who shot it.
Okay, very well then. I was actually there on the scene. I believe Heinrich was the one to actually dig out the bullet. A very interesting fellow. I could only assume full of rage as anybody else. But Heinrich was able to dig out a lead bullet from the vehicle. I could tell it came from a larger gun, as in a larger caliber pistol, but definitely still a pistol. If not him, then I believe Honors the Lost would have that evidence for you.
If I can use Rite of Questing Stone on it, we can find who owned it, and if I awaken the spirit of the bullet, it will
I
be
think we
able
need
to
a
tell
name.
me who held it and put it in the gun.
My man, I think we need a name for it. Questioning Stone needs a name.
Well, if you were to give the name of the gun, or at least a make and model, perhaps we could
Maybe.
show the bullet to somebody who was a little bit more knowledgeable about firearms, and then after that, we can perform the rite of questing shown on the rifle, and that will ping us to every single rifle that matched that description. Now,
And there can't be too many. Yeah.
if
There's somebody
you,
who.
my good sir, Katina, could awaken the bullet, you can give us a more accurate name, the true name of the rifle that was fired.
Oh, not only that, the bullet might be able to give me a description of the person as well.
The bullet
There.
is not interested in the person, not interested in the hand that fires it. Well, maybe it is interested in the hand that fired it, but it's more interested in the weapon that did so.
Shot it? Yeah. It depends on what the spirit can tell me, but that would at least give us some starting places.
As far as I know, there is somebody who's actually can use, firearms. Like I myself, I have never used a firearms or learned how to use them. I only played games. I don't know, is there anybody who can use firearms, but I know one named Callie. Black Fury, Ahrun, Cleat. She is new, but she is being useful.
Well, it's always good to hear about our sisters in battle. Now, Tell you a little bit more about the situation, Kachina. Since you've already done me one good turn by giving your story, I'll give you another story. It's about Kian. Kian, as apparently I'm led to understand, was a car thief of some sort. Somewhat successful. He was able to steal a car on the day in question from a local gym. Actually, a wealthy woman had left her Lexus in the parking lot. Kian saw it. Kian went ahead and took it, and Kian went ahead and took it for a drive. Unfortunately, somebody may have been laying in wait for him in the trunk of the car. We're currently calling it the Spider Woman, simply because, as we understand it, the perpetrator was female. So, Spider Woman lays in the trunk, waits for Kian to make a stop, gets out of the trunk, sneaks her way into the back seat, or she goes ahead and takes out the back of the trunk and sneaks into the back seat like that, points a gun at poor Kian's head. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Apparently, this female spider was in possession of some sort of chemical, some sort of compound, some substance that took away a guy's blessing of health. And after she went ahead and sprayed this all around, I don't know how, she went ahead and put the gun to the back of Kian's head, shot him dead. And without Gaia's blessing appealing, he was dead.
Very tragic, indeed.
Very. When myself and Travis got onto the scene, we went ahead and did a quick look over the scene. There apparently were two women involved, the victim of car theft and the actual murderess. Myself, Snow, Travis, Heinrich, and Alicia were at the scene. I'm led to believe that Alicia was a member of Kian's pack. She didn't take it very well.
No, I would imagine not.
Mm-hmm. If you need leads about that, there is the gym where the car was actually stolen from. I do not think you'll get any information from the victim of car theft. Her name is actually Karen. I interviewed her a little bit a whiles back. She knows absolutely fucking nothing. She's a dead end. However, my good Kachina, if you're so familiar with spirits, perhaps you can talk to a few of the spirits that were around the gymnasium when the carjacking happened.
Yes, many
Actually,
spirits
good
observe the land of the normal realm to see what is going on and can tell us many things. Gina thought he might just do this to help out those that are looking for answers.
Sorry, good sirs. You'll have to excuse me for a second. I'm getting pulled away by some of my kin. And Alan Stewart will go ahead and leave a half-eating hamburger on the picnic table and start walking off towards one of the other younger kinfolk and say, Hey! What did I tell you about running in the goddamn...
Kachina waves as he walks off. I'm sure he'll probably be back, and he looks at Travis. Kachina should get going too. He has many duties to perform before later, and then he has to go and he's been away from the city. He has to mind his business as well.
Up to you, man.
All right.
I'm just going to enjoy hot dog, and then I do the rounds.
And with that, Kachina walks off to go do his evening duties.
on the far end of the gathering, music's being played. Group of younger kin and Garu, each in their teens, early 20s, are moving about as a soccer ball flies up in the air and bounces about, and a certain member of Pegasus's children is moving around with some relative ease compared to some of the others. Looking rather, well, much happier than she has been as of late.
Is she playing soccer?
They're not really playing soccer, they just have a soccer ball that's, being kicked around up in the air and stuff. Callie, for her part, is sort of using her knees and the tips of her toes to kind of keep it moving.
Does my flaw as intolerance to soccer players count this?
Oh.
That's a strangely specific flaw, my good sir.
Yeah, I guess, because how often does it actually come up? So, yeah, I would say probably so.
Actually, I have 3 of them: soccer players, golf players, and hockey players. He's not looking there. Like he doesn't. He thinks the soccer is for losers, so he is not looking at that place at the moment.
Callie, for her part, is gonna juggle the ball with her feet, and as she looks over in the general direction of Travis, where Travis and Kachina had previously been. And there we go. Like, Dice Stream, what the hell's up, man?
I know you are sure what to do.
Well, you don't know shit.
Okay. You don't know shit.
So first she's going to look in that general direction, see if she can see him. And she does. And then she'll roll her perception empathy, and she's moving the ball about. One success. I'm guessing Travis doesn't look too happy.
Yeah, he doesn't like soccer players. It's like, yeah, you guys are losers.
Alright, so then she is going to start getting the ball a little bit higher using each knee, and then finally her feet to get the ball higher, going higher. And then she's going to roll Dex Athletics to try and literally spider kick it as she flip kicks over to try and send it Travis's way. I'd say that would be at least a difficulty 8. I'll throw it at a 9, spend a willpower point.
Can I see coming the ball towards me? Like the ball comes towards me, so.
It does. It's not really on target. Like aiming it towards maybe towards your face, but instead it just kind of. No, you don't see it coming. It smacks you right, kind of like in the middle of the chest, and you see Callie kind of getting back to her feet after flip kicking it over at him.
You see Travis looking at you.
She's got a very mischievous look on her face.
Travis looks at Alan. Alan, do you have a knife?
Alan just returning back from probably talking to another kinfolk, goes ahead and produces a plastic spork.
No. And Travis gets the ball, looks at Kelly, and puts the ball on the he is going to put the ball on the but you making the meat. He's
the grill.
You want it, Kelly?
Travis goes ahead and tries to bat the ball out of the grill. What the hell are you doing to my fantastic grill?
I'm just trying to burn the ball.
Why are you trying to burn the ball? There's no reason to do it. Just let it go.
I don't like soccer.
I don't care what you like or what you don't like. You're not going to ruin this fantastic grill out.
Okay, just give me a knife. I'm going to... Never mind. He's going to throw it to the Kelly bag. Like, Take your ball back.
Gonna roll it again at difficulty 10 as it flies through the air. She misses as it flips over her and she tries to catch it out of midair with a foot. So she'll run and chase it down, get it back in the group of kids, and this time she's gonna go for a foot kick. So
And Alan was gonna try to catch this goddamn thing.
Well, it's only got one success, so she kicks it. Poof.
Cut! Let's. I think I have a dice pool of only 4 to this. Dex of 2, athletics of 2. Let's see. Nope. Miss.
Oh.
I'm a terrible goalie.
So as Travis maybe turns away, the ball hits him square in the back of the shoulders again.
I'm really like. What do I need to roll for this? I have intolerance to soccer players.
Let me take a look at the actual flaw. It's a mental flaw, isn't it? I think so.
As far as I think it is.
Intolerance. You just gain a +2 difficulty involving focus.
Oh yeah, okay. You see, he is getting quite like. I hate soccer players.
Alan at this moment is just gonna go ahead and present a hand and arm out to Travis and say, "Hey man, what's going on? What? Why are we so pissed off about this? It's just a ball. It's just a game."
Do you know who I am, bro? I'm the Orange of Syracuse.
Blink. Imagine I don't know what that is.
College football, bro. American football. I don't like soccer players, golf players, or the hockey players. I just don't like them. This is the American football player. Any player, they don't like hockey.
Okay.
They don't like normal football. They don't like golf.
Okay.
Because those things are there for losers, and Kelly is a loser. You hear me, Kelly? You're a loser.
Callie has made her way over by this point to
Travis,
retrieve the ball.
shut the fuck up. Let me handle this.
She'll
Okay,
pick up the
just-
ball, and she's sort of rolling it over her arms, over her shoulders, from one arm to the other. Very, very brazenly showing her ass, so to speak, in a proverbial sense.
You see, like, you should play American football with you sometime, Kelly.
You should stop playing a sport that's based around an egg and not a ball.
Alan is gonna keep his mouth shut.
God damn it! You were from Greece as well. You're like those dudes who was telling me like, "Yo, man, you're playing football here, not American football. This is not America."
And she's going to say in Greek back to him, "Well, I would call it football, but it's not football. It's hand egg."
Yeah. God damn it! Like I just came, like he's saying in Greek. I just came here and like I was thinking that I was the only guy who's from Greece, and now I got you. Like how lucky I am.
In Spanish, Alan will go ahead and say, "Well, I can be special too and be absolutely rude to everybody around me by talking in a language that nobody else goddamn speaks."
Aaron, shut the fuck up in Spanish. He turns to Kelly. God damn it! Like why you have to be here? Like why you could have got another sept. I was the only Greek here, and I was happy about it.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Like I was the only Greek here, I was happy about it. Why you just came here?
She just kicks the ball right up at his face.
Like what the fuck?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I hate it when it does that. Sometimes it just has a, and she's speaking in English at this point. I hate it when it does that. It just has a mind of its own, this ball, sometimes. I think it might be awakened. And she'll pick it up. I don't know. Awakened soccer ball.
I'm sorry. Callie, was it?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Alan.
She'll start spinning the ball in one finger and hold the other hand out and shake Alan's hand. Callie. I'm guessing with all the individuals around, you're of the nation?
Yeah, I'm of the people. Don't worry about it. Everybody around here is affiliated with me.
Tribe? Moon?
Oh, I'm a child of Gaia Galliard.
Black Fury, Arun.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. It's good to see some warriors from that tribe.
We are few and far between in this sept. Not quite as few as the Fianna, she says.
Well, you're not that lucky.
Well, you'd say that you are few and far between, but the first Gaian that I actually met from the Sept actually happened to be a Black Fury.
Really?
Woman by the name of Night Eyes, actually.
Nice as you
Oh,
mean?
Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's good people.
Yeah, she is good people. The Alpha accepted her into the pack.
Really?
Yeah, it's fairly easily done, although my Alpha is pretty damn easy to please. Give him a few Angus steaks, and he's a very, very happy puppy.
Lupus?
Huh.
Lupus Silverfang.
Okay.
Oh, wow, Silverfang. Yeah, Callie's not actually at this time kicking it Travis, though. She is juggling it on her knees, like almost directly in front of his face.
I am going to bite that ball. This is Central Park, but we can't turn. This is the place that we can turn, right?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think we're at the
Okay,
picnic
yeah,
area.
okay.
We are not in the Karen, we are more in the public spaces.
Okay, like-
Alan goes ahead and says, you'd be amazed the kind of stories that I get from these people. And I have to say, is this sept always filled with very, very dark stories? It seems like every story I hear is completely dark.
Callie will stop very suddenly and catch the ball, and then toss it back towards the Kidfolk kids and Garu. And she'll sort of cross her arms. She takes on a more serious expression, but it's not one of dread. Well, there has been a lot of bad shit that's happened here, from everything I've heard. There's been a lot of deaths over the past couple of years. And we've seen our fair share of pretty nasty stuff over the past few weeks, even. Up until recently, I was suffering from Harano.
I can imagine. I've been told by Kachina about the incident over at Running Stones, actually. And I myself just heard about and investigated the death of one guy in shoulder by the name of Kian.
Keegan, I'd heard about that. I never met them. And, Shadow Lord, right?
I don't know. They never told me his. Never told me his heritage. All I know is that
was a
he was
Shadow
part of
Lord.
Alicia's pack.
He was a Shadow Lord.
It's never easy when we lose another member of the set.
Mm. Me, I was just curious about the history of this sept, and now that I've heard a few of the stories, I'm not reconsidering the idea.
Well, I've come to a conclusion that the stories that we have that are terrible give a basis and a meaning to the stories that we have that are happier.
Alright then. Callie, tell me a good story. Tell me a good story right now.
She goes and sits on the bench and picks up like a hot dog almost right off the grill. She kind of like very quickly like bats it towards her and then picks it up and she'll take a bite out of it.
You'll see Charlie, who's currently holding over the grill, look at you perplexed and amazed, and then when you just bite it without flinching, he's like, okay then.
She roll stamina for it just to see if she realizes just how hot it is or not. What is her stamina? 4. Yeah, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you about a story from my home set back in Colorado.
Yeah, sure. Alan's gonna retrace his steps back to the picnic table and take out the half-eaten hamburger while he goes ahead and takes that legal-bound notepad, throws up another page, and starts to write again several details. He goes ahead and looks to Callie and says, "I hope you don't mind. I don't plan on sharing this with anybody. It's just for my own mental reserves."
You're a Galliard. I would expect nothing less. Do you know where Vail is in Colorado?
No.
It's right up there in the Rockies. It's a ski town, so to speak.
Mm.
And my sept was well, we were kind of viewed as on the outside at least, as a coven of hippies, so to speak. Almost a commune.
Alan's actually laughing. No, please, I'm sorry, go on.
Oddly enough, not really that many children of Gaia that rocked around, which is interesting, to say the least. But it was a good place. Me and the other kids that were still not necessarily in the know at that point, we went into a town called Brambleton, and Brambleton High School. There's a lot of good memories there. My best friend Meg, she was like me. She'd had her change. I had never known, but we decided one night that it would be a good idea to be little shits, and we got some of the other kids involved. And so we decided to break into Brambleton High School.
You know, a lot of children, a lot of high schoolers would do anything to break out of that building, I would assume.
Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Well, we were going through, and really the only place that was really accessible was the bus shed. This big metal garage where they kept the 2 school buses that they had, one big one, one little one. And the dozen of us or so that made it out there found that some careless individual had decided that they did want us to go joyriding because they left the key box open in the garage.
Well, if that wasn't Gaia's blessing, I don't know what is.
I know. So we all clambered into this bus and we turned it on. Found out that buses don't move unless they build up air pressure pretty quick. And we started driving it around. We got it out of the school parking lot after we did, I don't know, about 50 laps in it with the lights on and the outside speakers going. And as we drove it out onto the main street, we decided to head up into the mountains. Mountain roads in a bus is not an easy thing. What isn't easier is the fact that the local sheriff was called. So we get this thing out there, and it's just after the snowy season, so all the snow melt, all the runoff has kind of turned the dirt roads back there into a swamp. And so we get the bus about 2 miles out of town into the woods, and Well, it gets stuck. We're completely mugged down. I mean, no matter what you were doing, tried to put it in forward, wouldn't go. Tried to put it in reverse, wouldn't do anything. Tried switching it into low gear, nada. It's completely stuck. We knew we were fucked. Well, then the lights come from the far end of the trail. And we're like, oh no. And here comes Sheriff Hankins coming down. He's in nothing but a pair of boxers, a t-shirt, and a robe, which he has managed to put his badge on and wearing his hat with a gun belt around it, keeping it all cinched. And he wades his way through about knee-high mud to come out there and tear us new assholes.
I thought you said this was a good story, so I'm hoping for a good happy ending.
Well, you see, it took 2 days for them to track down a tow truck that was large enough to pull the bus out of the mud. None of the kids in wheelchairs in the town could get to school for those 2 days, so we had to go to their houses and we had to wheel them into school. That was our punishment, along with about 2 months of community cleanup.
Very well, very well. Who are you paired with? What was the child, the woman, the boy? Who did you have the privilege to wheel to school?
His name was Ben. He'd had some kind of accident early on in life, and he was paraplegic. He was totally capable of wheeling himself around town, but he didn't seem to mind the company.
Looking at you, I don't think I would have mind either.
There's a little bell that goes off in her head that's been there ever since she took Chameleon, and literally in her own inner monologue, it just says, "Shut up and take a compliment." So she'll just kind of smile and nod.
Very well. I think when I was young, I had my own run-in with the authorities, actually. The fire department, if you were to imagine.
A fire department.
There was no fire. I'll just state that outright. But I was hired on as a janitor for a local church, actually. I was only supposed to do the rounds, the vacuuming, the cleaning, the taking out the trash, the windows, and all that other good honky horse shit. I was about a teenager at the time. So I must have been doing this about, I don't know, 2 to 3 to 4 months. And I was getting a really, really good hang of it. And I realized that somebody had tampered with the fire alarm. It was one of those thingamajigs where it just, folds down.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought that somebody had already triggered it for some god-awful reason. And when you're a teenager and you don't think things quite all the way through, you just make assumptions of what you think the world should be and what the situation is.
She's going to turn towards Travis and just look at him for a moment, then turn back to Alan. No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I touched the fire alarm, and that flipped it open. And the entire place goes absolutely batshit crazy with all these alarms and all this other nonsense. I went ahead and ran about, I would only assume, a mile down the sanctuary, a mile down the entire property of the church, just to find one deacon or minister. I did find the deacon, and he did have the right codes to turn it off. And he did follow me and believe my story, but I swear, when the fire marshal walked into the conference room where I was just sitting, trying to mind my own business, and asked the people who set off the alarm, who is going to pay this $500 fee, I was just sitting there, and I simply raised my hand, like, yeah, sir, I'm going to be doing it. This is what I'm going to be doing for the next god-awful month and a half. Took my story down, believed it, and for the last few months of summer, I was paying off that fine, not getting a damn cent for all that janitorial work.
Yeah, we're lucky we didn't have to pay for anything in that respect. I guess maybe they were insured, or maybe they just simply thought, kids are going to be kids.
My church took it out of my paycheck. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to go to Pastor Baker and say, oh, I did such a terrible, awful thing, but I'm not willing to pay the consequences? No, that wouldn't have flowed.
Yeah, probably not. And as they're sitting there, the soccer ball flies in over again and sort of lands at Callie's feet, bouncing up once. She'll hop up really quickly. Ooh!
Travis looks at her and then looks back at Alan, doesn't say a shit.
Alan's going to go ahead and stand up and say, hey, you fancy a game with all those others?
That would be amazing. Travis, you can be the goalie.
I don't think Travis wants to play. Oh no, I've got a very, very important job for you, Travis. Sit here, eat as much food as you need, and make sure that everybody cleans up after us, okay?
The Fiona Rune looks at you. That is exactly what I'm going to do. And then looks back towards the people and doesn't do anything.
You'd be doing me a great big favor. I'd look favorably on it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me. Alan's gonna go ahead and wander off like halfway between the picnic table and where everybody else is playing, supposedly on the soccer field. Look over to Callie.
Callie's used her bare feet to get the soccer ball back up. She's sort of again doing the whole high knee thing before catching it, putting it underneath her arm. She looks at Travis.
Goes towards the kinfolk at that time.
Well, I guess it is more of a thinking man's game than American football.
It's a game of
Persuasion. Yeah. I'm going towards the kinfolk, by the way.
Fair enough. Have fun.
Yeah.
And Callie will throw the ball up once and then sort of headbutt it over to Alan as she takes a fast jog over to the small soccer field.
See if I catch it. Where? I catch it with one success. Goes ahead and headbutts it. Bonk. Sends it down to the ground, and Alan is going to go ahead and start to chase the ball back towards the field.
Travis will look at the kinfolk people who is doing what they're doing at the moment. Like, probably they're having a picnic. And he just says, he looks at the football players and tries to make sure that the Alan or Kelly will not hear this. May I have your attention, oh, my dear kinfolk, my dear kin. I have taken, I have a surprise for you today. Like, whatever you do in picnic, that guy, Alan, is going to clean this shit. Don't worry, you don't need to clean anything right now. Alan is going to clean this. And I'm going to roll, I already activated my persuasion. I'm going to roll manipulation subterfuge. I have 5 dice. I spent a willpower for this. And I have 1 success.
You're not nothing, bitch, because those are my kinfolk. All the child of kinfolk are looking at you, shaking their head, going back to the regular meals.
No, like I have one success. I still never.
You need
Kelly,
much more than one.
meanwhile, is on her eavesdrop roll.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks at Alan and starts like cackling to herself. Oh my god, he's so moody.
He must be. I don't really understand. Come on. I'll be the completely lackluster goalie. Get all the young ones to kick at me.
As they're walking along, she's gonna just say out just loud enough so Travis can hear it. Gee, it's almost like he's on his period.
God damn it! I didn't roll in a good enough. God damn it!
Okay, who wants to end the scene for us? Because I feel we're going for that.
Kelly will bring the ball up and kind of with a heel bring it up over Alan's head as she runs into the mix with the kinfolk and catches it with her foot in stride. And she starts instructing people to go to either sides of the fields because we're going to do this for real.
Alan, for his part, is not that skilled with athletics. He's mostly following the movements of some of the more inexperienced players. Like, yeah, I totally got this.
And we go into the late parts of the night as the overhead lights kick on and drape the field with a white fluorescent light as, most of the individuals have a fun spring evening. Cookout, soccer, friends, and food.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We hope you have a good day.